There's a quiet revolution happening just beyond the edge of town, not with sirens or spectacle, but with the soft crunch of gravel under capable tires. It arrives not as a disruption, but as a homecoming. For years we've been told trucks must choose rugged or refined, utilitarian or luxurious, heritage or innovation. The 2026 Toyota Stout quietly rejects that false choice. It doesn't roar onto the scene demanding attention. It simply arrives grounded, graceful, and utterly certain of its purpose. This isn't a truck trying to be everything to everyone. It's something far more rare. A truck that knows exactly what it is, and in that knowing becomes everything you actually need. Let's begin where every journey does, with the first impression. Approach the Stout from the front, and you're met not with aggression, but with presence. This is architecture with intention. The grille, Toyota's new horizon beam design, stretches wide and low, a horizontal sweep of textured aluminum that echoes the vastness of open landscapes. It doesn't shout, it anchors. Flanking it, quad-element LED projectors peer forward with calm intensity, their crystalline lenses refracting light into precise beams that illuminate the road without blinding oncoming traffic. Between them, a delicate LED light blade traces the upper edge of the grille like a horizon line at dawn, subtle by day, luminous by night. Run your hand along the hood and you'll feel it. Twin power domes that aren't mere styling cues, but functional vents channeling hot air away from the hybrid powertrain beneath. The stance is purposeful, wheels pushed to the corners, track width generous without being cartoonish, creating a planted silhouette that suggests capability without posturing. Even the badging is restrained. A single Stout emblem centered on the grille, stamped metal rather than chrome, because true confidence needs no glitter. This is a face that belongs equally on a job site at sunrise and a mountain overlook at sunset, not because it's trying to fit in, but because it understands both places share the same fundamental truth: life happens outdoors, and your vehicle should honor that. But the real story unfolds as you walk the perimeter, where the Stout's profile reveals its soul. From the side, it carries itself with the quiet dignity of a working artist's hands, capable, weathered in the right ways. Beautiful not despite its utility, but because of it. The character line that flows from headlight to taillight isn't a frivolous crease. It's a structural ridge reinforcing the body sides against flex and fatigue. The fender flares swell just enough to house 33-inch all-terrain rubber without looking swollen or strained. Their edges finished with a fine pinstripe of bronze that catches the light like morning sun on canyon walls. Running boards aren't bolted on as afterthoughts. They're integrated into the rocker panels as forged aluminum rails, functional protection that also serves as a step for easier entry, their textured surface providing grip even when wet or muddy. The greenhouse is a masterclass in restraint, windows sized for maximum visibility rather than fashion, with thick pillars that feel substantial without creating blind spots. The rear quarter window features a subtle kick upward at the trailing edge, a nod to the original Stout's silhouette from the 1960s, reinterpreted not as nostalgia but as genetic memory. Even the door handles speak to philosophy: flush, mounted to reduce wind noise and improve aerodynamics, yet engineered with a satisfying mechanical detent that provides tactile feedback, a small pleasure in an increasingly touchless world. This is a side profile that understands proportion as poetry. It doesn't need oversized wheels or exaggerated arches to announce its toughness. It simply is balanced, harmonious, and honest. And then you reach the rear, the conclusion of the Stout's visual sentence, and perhaps its most thoughtful composition. The tailgate stands as both sculpture and tool, crafted from a single hydroformed aluminum panel that resists flexing under load while maintaining a clean, uninterrupted surface. Its release handle isn't hidden or electronic. It's a substantial, knurled aluminum lever positioned exactly where your hand falls naturally. A detail born from watching real people use real trucks. Pull it and the tailgate descends with controlled grace on hydraulic dampers, locking automatically at 3 preset positions: 30 degrees for easy access while standing, 60 degrees for loading bulky items, and fully flat to support 400 pounds as a work surface or tailgate seat. Integrated into the inner face ruler markings in both metric and imperial, 4 cleat points that flip out silently, and a recessed channel perfectly contoured to hold a 2-liter bottle upright. Because someone at Toyota remembered that simple frustrations ruin good moments. Above, the taillights stretch horizontally across the cab's rear header, their lenses featuring a fine honeycomb pattern that diffuses LED elements into a soft, uniform glow, visible from a distance but never harsh. Between them, the Stout nameplate is stamped directly into the metal bodywork, rather than applied as a decal. A small but profound statement about permanence in a disposable age. The rear bumper continues the theme of intelligent minimalism, textured composite material that hides scuffs and scratches, with integrated recovery points that sit flush until needed, and a Class IV hitch receiver that tucks neatly beneath when not in use. Even the license plate recess is thoughtfully contoured to prevent mud accumulation, a detail only noticed after years of ownership, precisely when it matters most. This isn't a rear end designed to be glanced at in traffic. It's designed to be used day after day, season after season, without degradation of form or function. What emerges from these angles isn't just a vehicle, it's a philosophy made visible. The 2026 Stout understands that true capability isn't about conquering terrain, it's about connecting with it. It recognizes that durability isn't about surviving abuse, it's about aging with grace. It knows that luxury isn't about excess, it's about thoughtfulness. Every line, every crease, every material choice serves this unified vision. A truck that enhances life without complicating it. No gimmicks, no over-promising. Just honest engineering wrapped in elegant simplicity. This is the quiet confidence of something built not for Instagram, but for impact. Not for showroom floors, but for real roads, paved and unpaved alike. The Stout doesn't need to announce its arrival. Its presence is felt in the way it moves through the world, purposeful, poised, and profoundly at ease with itself. And in a marketplace crowded with shouting, this quiet certainty doesn't just stand out, it resonates. It calls to those who've grown tired of choosing between what they need and what they love. To those who believe tools should be beautiful and beauty should be useful. To those who understand that the best companions in life aren't the loudest. They're the ones who show up, day after day, without fanfare or failure. The Stout has returned not to rewrite history, but to remember it, to reclaim the original Stout spirit of straightforward capability, and translate it for a new generation that values authenticity over affectation. This is more than a redesign, it's a homecoming, and as the sun catches the bronze accent along the fender flare, just for a moment, you understand. Some things were never meant to be forgotten. They were only waiting for the right time to return. Let's step inside. Past the door seal's gentle sigh, past the threshold where the outside world softens into something more intimate. This is where the 2026 Toyota Stout truly reveals its heart, not in horsepower numbers or cargo ratings, but in the quiet moments between destinations. The cabin greets you like a favorite room in a well-loved home, familiar yet fresh, sturdy yet soothing, built not for show but for living. Run your hand along the dashboard, and you'll feel it immediately. Surfaces wrapped in soft, touch materials that resist fingerprints yet welcome touch, with subtle bronze stitching tracing seams like golden hour light through canyon walls. The seats, standard in water-resistant Softex, with available premium leather, cradle you with a firm but forgiving embrace. Their bolsters supportive without being restrictive, their padding calibrated for both 20-minute commutes and 12-hour road trips. Notice how the driver's seat positions you, high enough for commanding sightlines over traffic, yet low enough to feel connected to the road. a sweet spot Toyota engineers call grounded confidence. Your hands fall naturally to the steering wheel, wrapped in perforated leather that breathes in summer heat and warms quickly on winter mornings. The rim is thick without being bulky, its circumference calibrated for precise control, whether you're threading through city traffic or navigating a rocky trail at walking pace. And those physical knobs flanking the wheel, they're not relics, they're respect. A satisfying twist adjusts drive modes. A deliberate click toggles traction settings. No swiping, no hunting through menace. Just intuitive, tactile connection between you and machine. A small rebellion against the touchscreen tyranny that's overtaken so many modern cabins. Ahead, the 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster glows to life, not with flashy animations but with thoughtful clarity. In normal mode, it presents a clean analog-style speedometer flanked by essential data, fuel, temperature, trip computer, all rendered in crisp white, on black typography that's legible in direct sunlight or midnight darkness. But switch to trail mode, and the display transforms organically. The speedometer shrinks to a compact circle at the bottom, while the upper 2/3 become a dynamic terrain dashboard, showing real-time pitch and roll angles, compass heading, elevation gain, and even individual tire pressure readings. It's not gimmickry, it's utility made beautiful. To the right, the 14-inch center touchscreen floats above the dash like a piece of polished obsidian, its anti-glare coating eliminating reflections, even when the sun hangs directly overhead. Toyota's latest Multimedia Plus interface operates with smartphone-like fluidity. Swipe left for climate, right for media, up for recent destinations, but crucially, it never abandons physical controls. The climate system retains dedicated dials with satisfying detents. Volume gets its own knob with progressive resistance that provides tactile feedback even with gloves on. This philosophy, digital where it enhances, physical where it matters, creates a cabin that feels both modern and timeless, tech-forward yet fundamentally human-centered. Wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto Connect before you've finished buckling your seatbelt, while embedded navigation with offline maps ensures you won't lose your way when cell service vanishes beyond the tree line. But the real magic happens in the details only life reveals, the glove box that stays cool on hot days thanks to shared HVAC ducting. The center console's tiered storage with a wireless charging pad that holds phones securely even on washboard roads. The dual-level cup-holders sized for everything from delicate ceramic mugs to 40-ounce adventure tumblers, each lined with soft, touch silicone that prevents rattling and scratching. Even the door pockets are thoughtfully deepened to hold tablets upright, ideal for displaying trail maps or keeping kids entertained on long drives, while their reinforced bottoms prevent sagging under weight. This is interior design born not in boardrooms, but in real life by engineers who've spilled coffee in their own trucks, hauled muddy gear after weekend adventures, and understood that a vehicle's cabin should adapt to your life, not force you to adapt to it. Now breathe deeply. Notice the air, crisp, clean, almost mountain fresh even on congested highways. That's the available Nano X air purification system at work. A technology borrowed from Toyota's luxury Lexus division that releases hydroxyl radicals to neutralize allergens, odors, and even certain viruses circulating in the cabin. After a day at the beach with sandy towels and sunscreen-scented air, a 15-minute refresh cycle leaves the interior smelling like a rain-washed forest after transporting wet dogs or gym bags. It eliminates lingering odors without masking them with artificial fragrances. It's the kind of feature you don't notice until it's missing, until you drive someone else's vehicle and realize how accustomed you've become to breathing easy. Climate control operates with near-silent precision through a tri-zone system that accounts for solar load via a tiny sensor embedded in the windshield header. Drive east at sunrise with low-angle light flooding the cabin. The system automatically increases airflow to the driver's side to compensate for solar heating, Cruise west at dusk with cooling shadows. It gently reduces output to maintain perfect equilibrium. Rear passengers enjoy their own dedicated vents with physical dials. No begging the driver to adjust temperature. While available heated and ventilated rear seats ensure everyone travels in comfort regardless of season or seating position. On chilly mornings, the steering wheel warms gradually, not with sudden heat that startles, but with gentle, even warmth that feels like sunlight spreading across your palms. On sweltering afternoons, ventilated seats pull air through perforations in the cushion and backrest, creating a subtle cooling effect that prevents that sticky, uncomfortable feeling after hours behind the wheel. These aren't luxury add-ons reserved for top trims. They're woven into the Stout's philosophy that comfort shouldn't be optional. It should be inherent to the experience of driving. But let's talk about sound, the most overlooked dimension of cabin refinement. Close the door and the world outside doesn't disappear. It simply recedes to a respectful distance. Acoustic laminated glass in the windshield and front side windows blocks high frequency road noise while allowing pleasant sounds, birdsong, gentle rain, your own laughter to filter through naturally. Triple sealed door apertures eliminate the hollow thumps and wind whistles that plague lesser trucks, while strategic placement of sound, deadening materials in the firewall, floor pan, and wheel wells absorbs low frequency drone from tires and drivetrain. The result, a cabin that feels like a sanctuary at highway speed. Conversations flow without raised voices. Podcasts remain intelligible without cranking volume. And fatigue melts away because your brain isn't constantly filtering out mechanical noise. Yet Toyota understands that complete silence isn't always desirable, especially off-road, where auditory cues matter. That's why the available Trail Listen feature exists with a single press. The active noise cancellation system temporarily reduces its intervention, allowing you to hear critical sounds like approaching water, shifting gravel beneath tires, or even wildlife movement near the trail, without sacrificing the cabin's fundamental refinement. For music lovers, the available 17-speaker JBL Studio surround system transforms the cabin into a mobile concert hall. But this isn't just about volume, it's about precision. Aluminum dome tweeters positioned at ear level deliver crystalline highs without harshness. Mid-range drivers embedded in the doors create a wide, stable soundstage that makes vocals feel present and instruments distinct. A compact but powerful subwoofer mounted beneath the rear seat delivers deep, articulate bass that you feel in your chest without overwhelming the mix. And the system's Clari-Fi technology works magic on compressed streaming audio, rebuilding lost harmonics and restoring detail to make even low bitrate files sound rich and full. Best of all, it adapts intelligently. Roll down windows for fresh air, and the system automatically rebalances output to compensate for sound leakage. Activate navigation prompts, and it subtly ducks music volume without cutting it entirely, maintaining atmosphere while ensuring directions are heard. This is audio engineering that serves the experience rather than dominating it. Now let's explore what happens when life gets messy. Because let's be honest, trucks exist for messy moments. Your dog shakes off lake water across the rear seat. The Softex upholstery beads moisture like a duck's back. Simply wipe with a towel and it's dry. Kids spill juice in the cup holders. The removable rubberized floor mats lift out in one piece and hose clean in seconds. Their textured surface channeling liquid toward drainage channels rather than pooling. Return from a muddy trail with boots caked in red clay. The footwells feature ribbed rubber flooring that traps debris until you're ready to clean, while scuff plates at every door opening resist scratches from work boots and rock climbing shoes. Even the headliner receives nano coating treatment to repel stains and odors, a blessing after transporting wet camping gear or forgotten groceries that leaked in the heat. This isn't a cabin pretending to be delicate. It's one proudly engineered for real life. Yet within this durability lives unexpected elegance. Open-pore wood trim on the dash and doors provides visual warmth without the cold slipperiness of piano, black plastic. Brushed aluminum accents catch light with subtle shimmer rather than garish glare. Ambient lighting isn't a single color, but a spectrum of 16 hues you can set to match your mood. Cool ocean blue for calm commutes, warm sunset amber for evening drives, or even a gentle forest green that makes night drives feel like moving through a dream. The lighting doesn't blast from obvious sources. It pools softly along the dash contour, traces door handles with delicate halos, and illuminates footwells with just enough glow to guide your steps without disrupting night vision. It's theater without pretension. Functional beauty that enhances without overwhelming. But the Stout's interior genius truly shines in its adaptability, the way it transforms to meet life's shifting demands without drama or complication. Need to carry 8-foot lumber. The rear seats fold in a 60-40 split with a single pull of a lever located in the cargo area, tumbling forward to create a nearly flat load floor that extends from tailgate to dashboard. The seatbacks lock securely in the folded position, preventing them from bouncing during transit, while integrated cargo nets secure smaller items that might shift, planning a weekend camping trip. The available power sunroof retracts fully to create an open, air cabin perfect for stargazing from the comfort of your seats. No tent required. Holding delicate equipment that can't get wet. The available retractable tonneau cover glides silently beneath the cab on ball-bearing rollers, sealing the bed with a weather-tight gasket while maintaining the Stout's clean profile. Towing a trailer to the lake. Activate tow haul mode via the drive mode selector, and the transmission holds gears longer on climbs while providing engine braking on descents. The available trailer backup guide overlays dynamic guidelines on the rearview camera display, showing exactly where your trailer will go as you turn the wheel, a feature that transforms intimidating maneuvers into intuitive movements. Even the bed itself becomes an extension of the cabin's thoughtfulness. LED lighting strips under the bed rails and integrated into the tailgate handle illuminate the entire cargo area after dark, while a 120V 400C outlet near the driver's side wheel well powers air compressors, tool chargers, or even a small coffee maker for sunrise fishing trips. 10 integrated tie-down cleats line the bed rails, each rated for 500 pounds. With clever spring-loaded mechanisms that flip out silently when needed and retract flush when not in use. The tailgate's multi-position dampers allow it to lock at 30, 60, or 90 degrees, transforming it into a comfortable seat for tailgate parties, a stable workbench for roadside repairs, or a gear staging platform for loading bulky items. Every feature serves multiple purposes because Toyota understands that life rarely fits into neat categories. Work blends with play. Utility intertwines with comfort. And the best tools are those that adapt gracefully to whatever the day demands. And this adaptability extends to the digital realm through Toyota's connected services ecosystem, a suite of features designed not to distract but to empower. The available 4G LTE Wi-Fi hotspot supports up to 10 devices simultaneously, perfect for keeping passengers entertained on long drives or allowing you to upload photos from your adventure while parked at a scenic overlook. But connectivity here serves purpose beyond streaming. The integrated adventure log automatically records your journeys when trail mode is activated, geotagging photos with GPS coordinates, elevation data, and even weather conditions at the time each image was captured. Later, you can export these logs as shareable journey maps, complete with your route overlaid on satellite imagery and timestamped photo markers, to relive adventures or share them with fellow explorers. Over-the-air software updates arrive silently overnight, refining everything from throttle response calibration to camera image processing without requiring dealership visits. The system learns your habits too, after noticing you always activate seat heaters at 6 a.m. on weekdays. It begins pre-conditioning the cabin 5 minutes before your typical departure time. It recognizes your frequent destinations and suggests departure times based on real-time traffic. Alerting you when leaving 15 minutes earlier could save 30 minutes of congestion. This isn't artificial intelligence trying to be clever. It's technology quietly working in the background to remove friction from your day, anticipating needs before you voice them, solving problems before they arise, and fading into the background when not needed. Privacy remains paramount. All location data stays on your device unless explicitly shared, and Toyota's strict data policies ensure your driving habits aren't sold to third parties or used for targeted advertising. This is connectivity with conscience, a digital companion that enhances without intruding, assists without assuming, and respects your autonomy above all. Yet, for all its technology and refinement, the Stout's soul remains rooted in something simpler: the joy of driving. Turn the key, and the iFast Max hybrid powertrain awakens not with a roar but with a refined hum. The electric motor spinning the engine to life so smoothly, you might miss the transition entirely. Select drive, release the brake, and the Stout moves away with serene immediacy, electric torque filling the gaps where turbo lag might otherwise intrude. Around town, it feels almost car-like in its composure, the steering precise without being twitchy, the ride compliant without being floaty. The cabin isolating you from potholes and expansion joints without disconnecting you from the road's character. But venture beyond pavement, and the transformation unfolds organically. Activate trail mode via the console dial, and the suspension subtly firms to control body roll on uneven surfaces, while maintaining wheel articulation. The throttle mapping sharpens for precise low-speed control, critical when crawling over rocks or navigating narrow ledges. Multi-terrain select offers 4 preset modes. Mud Sand prioritizes momentum with reduced intervention. Loose Rock maximizes traction on unstable surfaces. Mogul Mode allows controlled wheel slip for crawling over boulder fields. And Rock Mode locks differentials and manages brake pressure for technical climbs. Crawl Control engages with a steering wheel button press, automatically maintaining speeds between 1-5 ms while you focus entirely on steering. Like having an expert co-driver managing throttle and brakes across obstacles that would challenge even seasoned off-roaders. The electronic locking rear differential engages with a satisfying mechanical click you can feel through the chassis, instantly transforming wheel spin into forward progress when one tire loses traction. Ground clearance measures 10.2 inches, enough for moderate obstacles without compromising on road stability, while approach and departure angles of 28 and 23 degrees respectively allow the Stout to tackle steep creek banks and rocky descents without high centering. But capability means nothing without confidence, and that's where the TrailWatch camera system proves invaluable at speeds under 15 mph off-road. 4 underbody cameras activate automatically, stitching their feeds into a real-time 3D terrain map displayed on the center screen. The system highlights obstacles hidden from the driver's seat, submerged rocks, sudden drop-offs, deep ruts, and overlays your vehicle's exact position with tire outlines so you know precisely where each wheel will land. It's not video game gimmickry. It's genuine peace of mind when the stakes are high and U-turns aren't an option. Yet return to pavement, and the Stout seamlessly reverts to its composed highway persona, the suspension softening imperceptibly, the steering waiting up for stability at speed, the cabin hushing road noise to a whisper. This duality, rugged when needed, refined when desired, isn't achieved through compromise, but through intelligent engineering that recognizes life doesn't fit into neat categories. Some days demand capability, others demand comfort. The Stout honors both without forcing you to choose. And beneath all this capability lies the foundation that matters most: reliability you can build a life around. This isn't marketing speak. It's a promise forged over decades of real-world validation. Toyota engineers didn't design the Stout in climate-controlled labs alone. They subjected prototypes to brutal testing regimens, that simulate lifetimes of hard use in compressed timeframes. Engines undergo 500-hour continuous full load runs at maximum temperature, equivalent to towing heavy trailers across Death Valley in July. Transmissions cycle through millions of shifts under varying loads to identify wear patterns before production begins. Wiring harnesses endure 10,000 thermal cycles from 40°F to 105°F to ensure connectors won't crack or corrode over years of seasonal extremes. Brake systems undergo fade testing on continuous 10-mile downhill grades with maximum payload to verify stopping power remains consistent when it matters most. Even interior materials face accelerated aging. Seat fabrics are braided for the equivalent of 15 years of daily use. Dash plastics exposed to intense UV chambers that simulate a decade of desert sun. Rubber seals compressed and released thousands of times to ensure they maintain pliability without developing leaks. This obsessive validation isn't about meeting minimum standards. It's about exceeding expectations before the first customer takes delivery. The result: a truck that starts reliably on the coldest mornings, tows confidently on the steepest grades, and ages with dignity rather than degradation. While other vehicles might develop rattles in the dash after 50,000 miles or transmissions that shift with hesitation after 100,000. The Stout maintains its composure because its foundation was poured deep from day one. The body-on-frame architecture uses fully boxed frame rails hydroformed from single pieces of high-strength steel, eliminating welded seams where corrosion might penetrate over time. The aluminum composite bed resists dents and rust regardless of payload or climate. Even the paint receives multi-coat treatment with anti-chip polymers that maintain luster after years of stone impacts and UV exposure. This commitment to longevity extends to ownership experience. The 5-year, 60,000-mile powertrain warranty isn't a sales tactic but a quiet declaration of confidence. Toyota's service network spans over 1,500 dealerships across North America, most stocking common parts for same-day repairs, while the Stout's design prioritizes serviceability with grouped fluid reservoirs, generous component clearance, and standardized diagnostic protocols that even independent shops can service confidently. But here's the beautiful truth most owners discover: you rarely need these safety nets. The Stout simply works, day after day, season after season, year after year, without drama or demands. It becomes the vehicle you stop thinking about and start living through. The one you grab keys for without hesitation when a friend needs help moving. The one you point down unfamiliar dirt roads without anxiety. The one that still feels fundamentally solid at 100,000 miles, not worn, not tired, but seasoned like a favorite pair of boots that have walked countless miles with you. This is the gift of genuine reliability, not the absence of problems, but the presence of peace. The quiet certainty that your vehicle won't become a source of stress in an already stressful world. The freedom to say yes to spontaneous adventures because you trust your truck to handle whatever comes next. The mental space reclaimed when you stop worrying about breakdowns and start focusing on destinations. In a culture obsessed with novelty and upgrade cycles, the Stout offers something radical: the joy of longevity. The satisfaction of a tool that improves with age rather than depreciating into obsolescence. The pride of ownership that deepens rather than diminishes over time. And as months turn to years, something remarkable happens. The Stout ceases to feel like a possession and begins to feel like a companion. It accumulates not just miles but meaning. The faint scratch on the rear bumper, from that time you backed too close to the garage while distracted by good news on the radio. The slightly worn driver's seat bolster from countless hours spent behind the wheel. The faint scent of pine needles that somehow lingers in the carpet after that camping trip last autumn. These aren't flaws. They're footnotes in a shared story. The Stout becomes the silent witness to life's unfolding narrative. The pre-dawn drives to the hospital when hope felt fragile. The triumphant returns home after hard-won accomplishments. The quiet solace of evening drives when the world felt heavy and the road offered perspective. It carries soccer cleats and muddy paws, lumber for DIY projects and kayaks for weekend waves, groceries for ordinary dinners and coolers for extraordinary celebrations. It never judges your destinations or questions your motives. It simply shows up, faithful, capable, steady. This is the legacy Toyota has cultivated not through advertising slogans, but through decades of showing up for real people in real moments. It's why you see 20-year-old Tacoma still working construction sites with pride. It's why overlanders trust their lives to Land Cruisers on transcontinental journeys. It's why families pass down Toyotas like heirlooms, not for resale value, but for the memories embedded in every scratch, every faded seat, every mile logged with love. The 2026 Stout enters this lineage not as an imposter but as a worthy heir, honoring heritage while embracing progress, respecting tradition while welcoming innovation. It understands that the best trucks aren't measured in torque or towing capacity alone. They're measured in moments made possible, in memories carried safely home, in the quiet certainty that tomorrow's journey, whatever it may bring, begins with a simple turn of the key, a deep breath, and the steady presence of a friend who never lets you down. So as twilight settles and the cabin glows with soft amber light, as the engine ticks gently while cooling after a long drive, as the world outside grows quiet and the road ahead rests in darkness, there's a profound comfort in knowing your Stout waits patiently in the driveway. Not as a depreciating asset, not as a status symbol, but as a partner in the beautiful, messy, ordinary, extraordinary tapestry of your life, ready for tomorrow's errands, ready for next weekend's adventure, ready for whatever comes next without fanfare, without failure, without condition. This is more than reliability. This is relationship. And in a world of noise and novelty, that kind of quiet constancy isn't just rare, it's revolutionary. The Stout doesn't promise perfection. No machine can. But it promises something more valuable: presence. Day after day, mile after mile, year after year, and sometimes, especially on long drives under star-dusted skies or quiet mornings when frost feathers the windshield, that's the only promise that truly matters. And so our journey together arrives at its gentle conclusion, not with a dramatic finale, but with the quiet satisfaction of a day well spent. The sun dips below the horizon, painting the sky in soft gradients of violet and gold. You park the Stout in the driveway, engine ticking softly as it cools, and for a moment you simply sit, hands resting on the wheel, watching the world settle into evening. No rush, no agenda. Just presence. This is where the 2026 Toyota Stout reveals its final truth. It was never about the destination. It was about the space between, the miles filled with conversation and silence, laughter and reflection, ordinary errands and extraordinary detours. It was about the confidence to say yes when adventure called, the peace of mind to drive through rain, slick nights without worry, the simple joy of a cabin that feels like a second home. It was about showing up, not just for the grand moments captured in photos, but for the quiet ones that live only in memory. The pre-dawn drive to watch the sunrise paint the mountains, the spontaneous turn down a gravel road that led to nowhere and everywhere at once, the gentle hum of tires on wet pavement as you drove home after a long day, feeling lighter somehow. The Stout doesn't demand your admiration. It earns your trust, slowly, quietly, consistently through 1,000 small moments of reliability. The first crank start on a bitter January morning. The steady pull up a mountain pass with a trailer in tow. The way the cabin stays calm and composed even when life outside feels chaotic. These aren't features to list on a window sticker. They're gifts accumulated over time, the kind that transform a vehicle from something you own into something you rely on. And in our hurried world of planned obsolescence and upgrade cycles, that kind of steadfast companionship feels almost radical, almost sacred. So as twilight deepens and stars begin to pierce the violet sky, Know this: your Stout will be waiting tomorrow, not with fanfare or expectation, but with quiet readiness, the same readiness it offered yesterday and the day before, and the day you first turned the key. It won't ask for much. Just good fuel, routine care, and the occasional wash to keep the road dust at bay. In return, it will give you everything that matters: capability without complication, comfort without pretension, and the profound freedom that comes from knowing your vehicle will never be the reason you say no. This is the promise of the Stout, not shouted from billboards, but whispered in the spaces between miles, not proven in spec sheets, but lived in sunrises witnessed from remote overlooks, in loads delivered on time, in memories made possible because the truck simply worked. It's a promise kept not once but daily, not with drama but with dignity, not as a transaction but as a relationship. So here's to the roads ahead, to the ones mapped and the ones discovered by accident, to the muddy boots and sandy towels, the coffee-stained cuffholders and sun-bleached dashboards, the scratches that tell stories and the miles that build character, to the quiet confidence of a truck that asks nothing of you except to live fully and offers everything in return. The engine falls silent, the interior lights fade softly, and in that gentle darkness, you feel it not the end of a journey, but the beginning of countless more. Because the best trucks don't just carry us from place to place, they carry us through life itself. Steady, capable, true. Your Stout is ready. Always has been, always will be, and so with gratitude for the miles shared and anticipation for those yet to come, we simply say drive well, drive often, and wherever the road leads, paved or not, you'll arrive not just safely, but meaningfully. Because the journey was never about getting there, it was about who accompanied you along the way. Good night, and until next time, may your trails be gentle, your cargo secure, and your heart light behind the wheel of a friend who never lets you down.